Hello, everybody. So, like most of you guys, I've been playing the shit out of this game, Schedule 1, and I've kind of reached the end game now and got my setups to where I like them, and thought that maybe I'd do a little tutorial on how to get the 8 mixing automated setup for the meth going, and then also just do a little tour of my warehouse and show you guys a little bit of what's going on. So I'm going to walk you guys through step by step of how I set everything up. That way you can kind of understand what's going on. And so if you want to change anything or if something goes wrong, you know how to fix it. So let's just go into here and we can see the setup. So starting with workers, the setup I have is I have 5 chemists and I have 4 packagers. I'll explain exactly what each one of them are doing and what the kind of setup is here in a sec. And then I have 1 botanist. This guy's a little bit more optional for your setup, and you could change it for maybe another chemist or something depending on what you want. But personally, I like having the botanist, and I'll explain a little bit why here in a sec, towards the end of the video. But yeah, so then let's talk about equipment. So as far as equipment goes, I have 23 large storage racks, 8 mixers, 2 cauldrons, 6 ovens, 3 chemistry stations, 1 brick press, and then a full 8 setup for lights, pots, and all that for the like plant setup. I'll put a list up on screen so you can see that, so you don't have to just hear everything. But yeah, that's kind of the general setup. And then let's go into exactly what each person is doing and walk you guys step by step of uh, how to get this fully automated, and so you just have bricks of whatever 8 mix meth that you want. So obviously, let's go in. First step of making meth is we need to cook the meth, right? So the first step that I would do is get one of your handlers. This is what her job is. So for her first 3 routes, she has uh, she's basically taking the equipment from one of these storage racks and putting it at one of these chemistry stations. So you will basically just do that. So routes from, you'll select the storage one. So I just selected, this storage one, and then it goes to this first one, and then just go down the line and do that. You're going to want to make sure that all of this is stocked in order like this, so that way when they pick stuff off the shelves, it goes in this order. And yeah, so that's the first step. Then once we have these all cooking, we're good. We want to make sure that this recipe is set for liquid meth, obviously. And the destination is going to be the lab oven across from you or wherever you have your lab oven. So for me, I just put the one across, but you can do it however, design setup you like. But so these one goes here, this one goes here, and this one goes here. Now, after it goes to this thing, it's going to cook. And this is an important step. We want to set all 3 of our lab ovens to the first mixing station in our lineup. So all 3 of these will go to the same mixing, and this will be the first station of our mixing process. Okay, so it's cooked, and now it's been put over here, and now we will go into a little bit about kind of how this mixing process will go. So the way I have it is this is our first step, and it goes down the line here, and then it goes around back here all the way back to this last mixing station. Um, this is just the way I like it set up. Again, set it up however you think looks best or whatever thing. It doesn't have to be these ingredients. These are just a recipe that my homie cooked up that I play with, and so this is kind of the one we use. But whatever ingredients you want, just make sure they're in the correct order. Okay, so now the first thing that's going to be super important here, and that I think makes it a lot easier, is having 2 racks per mixing station. I had one rack for a while, and the problem is you're just constantly having to refill it. With two, this makes it a little bit less of refill for you, and it's fully automated setup where a packager will get one off of here and refill it to this one, and so you don't have to worry about that. So let's go into our packagers to start. Uh, the packaging system we have is most of our packagers you'll see have no assign station, and that's because their job is basically just moving stuff from a rack to a mixing station. So this guy basically he moves this motor oil from this here to this mixing station, and so that's what you're going to want to do for your first route, your first ingredient to your first mixing station. And then the second thing that he does that makes this just a little bit easier for you, more convenient, is that he moves the product from the second rack I have to the first rack, so that way you don't have to refill as often. I typically refill like once a night. I buy like 80 of each of these, and that's more than enough to get me through the day. And so yeah, so your second route will be from this second large storage rack you have to the first one that is refilling your mixing table, okay? And then that's basically what you're going to want to do for all 8 of your ingredients, whatever in order you want to have it set up. So the packager is putting the ingredient here and then moving the ingredient from here to the first rack, so that way you have that refilling. And then so once you've set all of that up, the next step is to make sure that your mixing stations move down the line in the correct order. And to do that, you're just going to click on the mixing station, make the destination, and put it to the one next in the order of your mixing. So for example, this is me. You can see the arrow pointing. So this mixing station goes to this one goes to this one it flies over here to the fourth, then down the line, boom, finally ending here. Okay, and so now that we have all that, we're gonna actually set a different destination for this, but I'll talk about that in a little bit. Don't worry about your 8th and final mixing station destination, just leave that empty for now. Okay, so now that we have this all set up, it's going to be automated, basically mixing all these stations. All of your stuff is going to be automated mixing, moving down the thing. You're going to want to make sure that you have your chemist assigned to these mixing stations. So there's 8 mixing stations obviously, so your chemist should have 8. So these 4 and 4. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention, obviously you need chemist for the these labs to bake it too. So 6 of your chemistry or your chemist spots are going to be doing this, and then 8 of them are going to be doing the mixing. Okay, now the next step. So obviously once we get down to this 8th step, we've fully cooked it. It's got 8 mixes exactly how we like it. It's going to come out, and now we want to make sure we set this destination to a storage rack somewhere, and that's going to be kind of where they put the final product. So for me, it goes right here, and then basically we're done. This is actually a bunch of our final product we have bagged ready to sell. You can see this is what we're pumping out a bunch of. It's strawberry haze. It has 8 mixes. If you want to copy exactly mine, I can show you the exact setup. But yeah, and so we put it here, and then since now that we have it sitting here, we need the next step obviously is to package it. Now you could do it in bags if you want, but personally you pump out so much of this that it's really just easiest to put it in bricks and give it to your dealers. And so that's what we're kind of doing. So we have 18 here, and if you look at our dealers, Jane has another 600, and we has another 400, and we've only really been, I only had this set up for like maybe a week max in game time. So it pumps out an absurd amount of meth, more than your dealers will be able to sell. And so I just put it in bricks, make it a little bit easier on myself, and so boom. So put it here, and then we're going to go to one of our packagers. So a lot of our packagers routes are all going to be taken by refilling stuff, but you will have enough, if you have the same setup as me, you'll have enough. What you're going to want to do is assign this guy to the brick press, or one of your guys to a brick press, and then one of his routes from the large storage where you're storing it to the brick press. And then I just have the brick press to this other rack where I have it where it ultimately ends up, and then I can go give it to my dealer. So that's the full 8-step process, fully automated. I pay them, and then I come back, and this stuff is sitting here in a brick, ready to be given to your dealer. Um, so this whole process seems really complicated trying to set it up at first, but once you get the hang of it, it's actually not too bad. And I like setting it up this way. I think it makes it really simple to refill with these little cubbies, and I think it looks kind of clean personally. I'm sure there's more efficient setups, but this is one that I think looks good, looks clean, and allows me to, still have like movability around my warehouse and everything like that. And yeah, so that's basically the full guide for the 8-step meth process. Full mix guide automated. If that's all you're here for, then you're more than welcome to click off. I will click off the video, but I'm going to just explain a little bit more about my botanist and the rest of my warehouse setup in case you're interested. So for the botanist, what I actually have him doing is he's doing my cocaine, and so I actually have him set up over here. He gets his supplies from this rack. I have fertilizer and this blah blah blah. This is just like extra. And so he sets it up here, boom boom boom, and then from these actually go here to these cauldrons, and I have uh, a couple of my chemists set up to do cauldrons. So I think it's this guy, he's doing my cauldrons, Walter, my boy Walter. He works both the cauldrons, he gets them cooked up, and then once they're cooked up, they go here into this thing. I know I should probably add a drying rack, but I haven't got around to fully customizing this. But you could add a drying rack here too if you want to get the heavenly cocoa leaves or whatever, before you put it in the cauldron. But after the cauldron, it goes to these lab ovens that are cooked up that I have another chemist working on. And then from these lab ovens, it goes actually up here to the storage rack. And basically what I'm using cocaine for right now is I kind of just use it for fun and to sell myself actually. So I give all the meth and the weed to my dealers, and then I just sell the cocaine. So I have a full racks up here of all the other mixes that I'm not using for this process, and I just kind of mess around with these and find random mixes that I feel like selling for that day or whatever. Um, you could add a couple more mixtures up here if you wanted or whatever, but this isn't automated, so I don't really uh, need that much. I just kind of mess around with these as much or as little as I feel like it. I got a couple more. These are my beds for sleeping. It's just some extra storage for random stuff up here. I use these packaging stations to package the stuff that I'm gonna sell personally. Um, and then yeah, that's pretty much it. I have all the beds down here, kind of piled up down here a little bit, moving around. Uh, but yeah, this is the setup that I rock in. I think it looks pretty nice. You can move around everywhere, super easy. I haven't run into any glitches with any of these guys yet using this setup. They're not like getting stuck or anything, which has been super nice. I've had setups before where they get stuck a lot. But yeah, that's pretty much it. If you have any questions or need or you have any questions or want some more tips or anything, or you have any things that you think that I could do to improve this a little bit, I'd love to hear them. But yeah, um, if if you guys are interested too, I have a full weed setup in the barn. So if there's enough interest, just let me know in the comments. and I'll make a full video explaining exactly how I get the fully automated weed grow that gets me this Heavenly Granddaddy Perp bricks. Yep. But all right. Thanks for watching, guys. Everyone, have a great day. Bye.